Bart DeVito, who shoots just about everything you could imagine. Bart, you've told me you consider yourself a photographic problem solver. Why is that?
Well, Mike, art directors come to us with a variety of problems, and we consider ourselves general practitioners of photography rather than specialists. We like to be able to think that we can do just about anything they throw at us, and I think we do it fairly successfully also.
What are some examples of some of the problems you've solved?
Well, for example, we had to do a pouring shot. That's relatively simple. It's usually done with a continuous pump. In this instance, the item could not be mistreated in any way. So we duplicated the pour with a lucite tube by filling it with some brown liquid and pouring syrup over it during a long tungsten exposure so it had the motion effect. Another time, an art director asked us to photograph a Christmas tree on a sled with ice melting on the leaves. However, it was in New York in the middle of June. In that instance, we rented an ice cream freezer from a supermarket, had it trucked into the studio, and we put the sled and the tree into the freezer, sprayed it with water, sprinkled it with fake snow over the course of a day or so, and finally pulled it out for some very, very fast photography. The third instance that I can think of offhand is a shot for Johnson & Johnson Band-Aids, which involved a tremendous amount of food. We asked them to send us a good deal of it, and they did, from Kansas, frozen solid. We had to duplicate those steaks very quickly here in New York with natural meat, of course. And I tell you, we spent a great deal of money running from butcher to butcher to get enough of the type of cut that we needed. The fourth instance is probably a shot we did 2 years ago for Charles Burns, one of New York's better art directors, and it involved multiple exposures. It involved sparklers and candles and gold spray paint and what have you, and I think it's probably one of the most interesting shots we've ever done.
And one of the most complicated. Everything in the shot, candles, holly, and Christmas ornaments, had to be carefully sprayed with gold paint to create a richly textured monochromatic look for the photograph. Bart's shot would take these elements and bring them to life with the light from sparklers, which would be multiply exposed over an original or base exposure of the lit candles. On the set, close cooperation between Bart and his assistants, on timing in particular, would be crucial to the success of the shot.
Turn away first.
You got it. Okay, Chris, that center mark looks good. Let's just get going. I just want to get those last few candles in place, and I think I'd like to start lighting them up so we get a burn on top.
Okay.
They're too clean right now. Okay, I know most of the photographers in New York today are in love with strobe, but we fall back to the tungsten lighting simply because that's what I was trained on. We also have strobe, we use it from time to time. But I like the softness of tungsten when I need it. I like the control that I have. I have absolute finite control of every position of every light and shadow. That's the idea.
Since everything in the shot is the same precise shade of gold, the directionality and quality of light is exquisitely revealed as darker and lighter tones in the props, helping to create the rich look Bart is after.
Okay, look, I'll give you a hand. I think I better go get Kitty ready to work with the sparklers. You finish lighting those, and I'll get Kitty dressed and ready to go.
Sure.
Kitty, are you about ready? I'd like to get this shot underway, so let's get you into your costume.
Okay.
When I married you, I promised you I would dress you in ermine and furs, and look at what it's come down to.
Felt.
Felt.
Black felt.
Black
well, at
felt.
least black is slenderizing.
Black is slenderizing, wonderful. Look, these sparklers that you're going to be handling, let me give you your black gloves. First, you'll do the individual candle exposures. We'll have to do probably 6 or 7.
Okay.
Okay?
And then we have to do the painting.
Yeah, well, that, each time the lens will be covered, so you don't have to worry about rushing.
Right.
Okay? Let's get this show on the road here. Chris, you want to get that film holder in and get ready to make the exposure?
Oh, this really looks pretty.
Oh, yeah.
Nice job
Maureen,
of
you want to
putting
get that
this together.
sand tray up on the table? Michael, get the fire extinguisher.
Okay.
Keep your eyes on those sparks. The last thing we need is a fire in here. Okay, are you ready? Let's.
Yes.
Good, good. Okay, Mike, thank you. Dark slide, please. Let's get this base exposure done. Everything's set, looking good. Okay. Light out, please. Sparklers on. Move. Move. Hold, move. 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 And move. And go. And exit. excellent, excellent, excellent. Very, very good. Because of the nature of the shot, we had lit candles. We had sparklers behind the candles. And then the idea was to trail a musical clef with the sparklers through the entire photograph. It meant an exposure for the candles themselves. It meant a different exposure for each candle that contained the sparkler. And ultimately, it meant an additional exposure for the trail of the sparklers through the film. And in each instance, the camera lens had to be covered. If the shutter was not closed, the camera lens was covered a la Matthew Brady's old lens cap sort of thing. And the entire exposure took several minutes. However, the total accumulated time on the film may have been only about 10 seconds. Good, good. Kitty, are you getting ready with that
Yes,
holder?
I am.
We built a small device to hold the sparklers in a rigid position. We devised 5 candles to light the sparklers simultaneously. That was a serious problem. And then, of course, we had to take safety precautions, a bucket of sand, a fire extinguisher, a bucket of water, and everyone watching very carefully that none of the sparks caused us any difficulty.
1, 2. Come on, let's go.
Come on, they're almost all on. How many have you got? 3?
I only have 2 on.
2, 3?
3, 4.
Come on, number 5.
Here she goes.
Take it right into the cleft now. Go.
Okay.
That's it. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. Good. That's a take. This particular photograph was reproduced on the covers of 40 different catalogs throughout the United States.
What do you like about being a photographer?
Well, I think the special grace of being gifted with making a living at doing something that you particularly enjoy, the excitement, the diversity, financial rewards when business is good, of course,
Sure.
and the variety of people that you meet, like yourself, for example.
Thank you.
Popping into the studio in the middle of a working day, as it were.
That's right.
But I think that perhaps the most important thing, though, is being able to work at something that you enjoy.